Hey everyone, Chris Mack presents with Batman issue 242. I figured reviews have been too long absent. Been working on trying to unpack and get the studio set up, but it is a process, as you guys have seen some of the shorts that I've put up. So let's take a break and dive into this excellent issue. The print date on this was June 1972. And the importance of this book is this is the first appearance of Post Malone. I keep wanting to say Post Malone. Matches Malone in pre-Crisis. So this was before Crisis on Infinite Earths. And also, this was right around the time that Denny O'Neil and Neil Adams created Ra's al Ghul. So here, Batman is having to essentially say that Bruce Wayne is believed to be dead because Ra's al Ghul knows Batman's true identity, and he does not know how to defeat this foe, as this is their first entanglement. And just real quick, one little bit about Ra's al Ghul that I really enjoyed is I was watching a clip interview from Neil Adams, and he was talking about how when he was tasked with creating Ra's al Ghul, and it's not Raish, it's Ra's. Even Neil Adams says Ra's. So let's just say what it is. He decided to kind of go, since Batman is based on Sherlock Holmes mostly, he said who was Sherlock Holmes' most devious adversary, and that was Moriarty. And so that's how Ra's al Ghul kind of became what he is, where he is match for match, wit for wit, everything that is the antithesis of the Dark Knight. And that's why he's such an interesting character when written correctly, especially by the characters or by the people who created him. Because in this issue, Ra's doesn't really make an appearance, but yet his presence is felt on every single page. Batman telling Commissioner Gordon that he has to leave for a while because he has to go to, where's the League of Assassins? I cannot remember the name of it. The snowy mountains. Tibet, something like Tibet. I can't remember off the top of my head. But anyway, Bruce here says, I'll call you when I return, if I return. I hated to lie. It was necessary, though. Necessary for Bruce Wayne to disappear because the war I'm waging is one against someone who knows Wayne is the Batman. And I can't chance his striking at me through my civilian identity. What's more, I've come to realize I'll never beat him alone. The most Galian admission I've ever had to make. I've got to swallow my pride and recruit help. And this is one thing I like about pre-crisis and early post-crisis Batman is now 2024. Wow, 2024. Everyone's always saying, Batman can beat anybody with enough prep time. But in these early eras, we see, when Bruce is alone as Batman, he actually has these weaknesses, and how is he going to overcome them? There was an issue, I don't remember which one, it's earlier around the Chuck Dixon era, where Batman says that a lot of times when he goes out alone without Robin is because there's things that he's unsure of about himself that he wants to shore up before he takes Dick or Tim or whomever out with him. He wants to make sure that he is ready so he doesn't look weak in front of his progeny. And so here is where we see the first appearance of Matches Malone. He goes, I want words with you. That feeling ain't mutual. I don't like my mill disturbed. And so we get into a big battle. And there's a moment of confusion here on what we don't know happens with Matches Malone, which I think, if you go back to, I think it's around the 500s, the volume 1 of Batman, where we see Bruce internalizing pain about the Matches Malone's family. This kind of leads back to the beginning of where he was created and what happens to the original Matches Malone and how the Dark Knight takes on their persona. So here he's basically, this man is a scientist. I can't remember what he's a scientist of off the top of my head, but he saves him from one of Ra's al Ghul's servants. And Matches is trying to say that I'm with the Dark Knight and we need to take care of Ra's al Ghul. You have a device that he wants that will allow him to take over the world. And before anything else can happen, the servant here, again, he goes, it's indeed a strange coincidence you discussing Ra's al Ghul, for I serve him. In the steeples of my homeland, he saved my life. According to the rights of my Mongol tribe, I am therefore his slave. Swill, you think you're interested in your life story or something? It is merely courteous to explain why I find it necessary to act as I'm about to. And I kind of like this civility between adversaries, that he's describing why he's doing what he's doing. He goes, Master Ra's al Ghul charged me to capture Dr. Blaine, unless I happen to meet the Batman. In such an instance, my greatest priority is to eliminate the Batman, a command the daughter's daughter disagrees with, by the way. However, I am not Talia's creature, but her father's. Thus, and he throws the knife. And I just miss dialogue like this. It's engaging, in a sense, very Shakespearean, not Old English, but just the way that it's written. It's very smart, very tightly written dialogue, and it just keeps you clutching. I mean, literally, this guy's hanging on by gutters. Desperate fingers grope, find a grip on ancient, rusting rain gutters. When a small, dull creek, the gutter pulls loose from its moorings, I go to my ancestors. That, or the gods, intervene. And then that's where Batman intervenes. So you can kind of see the parallels in the story. And then Batman says, I have all my, tricks to go against the Ra's al Ghul and 3 allies. He's got all the odds, not denying it. Me, I've got my 3 and my silly gadgets. And one more thing, determination, a conviction that I'm fighting for right. And it's just a great way to keep you wanting more for the next issue, which leads us into the filler story where Batman is going against the cult of the Cthulhu's. And it's just an excellent, the way the story brings, as he has these 2 cousins, Terry and I can't remember the other person's name, but they're psychic. And just look at the way she's being mentally assaulted, and we just see hands from Robin's point of view reaching out to try to save her. And it's just engaging and heartbreaking on what you find out about these 2 family members, as one is possessed by a quote-unquote demon. And then, to end the book, we get a story from Batman issue 7 from 1941. And this was great. I kind of wish that Batman would have continued on this way through the 60s and whatnot, instead of going the Adam West campy way of the Silver Age. Even though these earlier ones are kind of rough in their art and the dialogue, Batman and Bruce Wayne both are framed for murder. And it has what this book was originally supposed to be: dark detective noir, tones. And it's just a great way how Bruce is framed and Robin has to man up to save the Dark Knight. This was an excellent issue, and to kind of at least talk about the main book. The writer was Denny O'Neil. The pencils were Irv Novak. The inks were Dick Giordano, I believe is how you pronounce it. And they made an excellent book. And then, of course, Batman number 7, I think, don't quote me on this, but I believe it was Bob Kane penciling and Bill Finger writing the story. But 242, building up to the Ra's al Ghul War, I highly recommend this issue for anyone that's a big fan of Batman like me. So if you've enjoyed what you've seen, please first and foremost go to your local comic shop and grab this issue, or wherever it is you like to get your action figures and comics. And if you've enjoyed this review, we really would appreciate if you take a moment to like, share, and subscribe. Helps my channel more than you could possibly know. And if you won't mind hitting that fancy little bat bell next to subscribe, that way you guys will get notified. Come to the channel. And as always, we love talking with y'all and hearing your thoughts and feedback down in the comments below, or the social media pages, which I'll make sure to leave the links down in the description. So with all that said, thank you so much for stopping by. Hope y'all continue to have an absolutely amazing day reading, and happy hunting, everyone.